Create a 5-minute SpaceX movie using the Blender MCP and the VideoEdit MCP in one shot. That is the task I gave Claude Opus 4.7, Codex GPT 5.5, and Gemini 3.5 Flash. The AIs will have to use Blender to create the 3D animated scenes, then they will have to use ElevenLabs API key to create all of the audio, and finally they will have to use the VideoEdit MCP to tie it all together to create a 5-minute movie. To get this to work, we first need to connect the Blender MCP and the VideoEdit MCP. Before doing anything else, you first need to run brew install UV in your terminal. After you do that, you go to the Blender MCP GitHub repo and you download the add-on file. Then you open up Blender and click on Edit. Then you have to click on Preferences, and after that you have to click on Add-ons. Click on Install from Disk. Select the add-on file and enable it. Then press N in the 3D viewport to open the side panel. Find Blender MCP and hit Start MCP Server. Once you do that, Blender is ready for your AI agent to connect. For Claude Code, you're working in the desktop app. Go to Settings, then Developer, then Edit Config, and you'll see the Claude Desktop config JSON file. You add a Blender entry under MCP servers with the command set to UVX and the argument Blender MCP, save that, restart Claude. The Blender tools are loaded and ready. For Codex, you navigate to Settings, then click on the MCP servers. Click on Add Server, and this is what your configuration should look like. Click on Save and reset the Codex app. Once it's configured, Codex picks up the Blender tools automatically when you start a session. Google's Antigravity was probably one of the hardest ones to set up, but I finally figured it out. All you have to do is navigate to the config file located in .gemini/config/mcp_config.json. Just make sure to change the home user to your own username instead of using mine. To make it even easier for you guys, I've actually created what I call a super terminal command that will connect your Antigravity to your Blender MCP. I also created one for Codex as well. I will link both of them down below. All you need to do is simply copy and paste it into your terminal and it should connect everything as long as you have Blender and the add-on already set up. Next, we need to connect VideoEdit MCP, which by the way is the only video editing platform built for the use of AI agents. The setup is simple. You just go to videoeditmcp.com, click on this curl command, and paste it into your terminal. Once it's done installing, the VideoEdit MCP app will open. Click your email and click on Connect AI Agent, then click Connect. The connection will show it's ready. Once you open the AI agent, the app will finalize the connection. And that's it. Your AI agent now has full video editing capabilities. Once both are connected, the AI handles everything from 3D modeling to the final export inside one chat. The prompt was simple. Build a cinematic 5-minute short film about SpaceX sending Starship to Mars. Research the real mission profile. Write a script. Build every 3D scene in Blender. Generate all the audio with ElevenLabs. Assemble the final cut in VideoEdit MCP. And do not take shortcuts. First up, Claude Opus 4.7. Total time 38 minutes. Claude claims it researched the full Starship mission profile and wrote a 3-act script structured around departure, journey, and arrival, with every narration line anchored to a real number like 74 meganewtons of thrust and the 24-minute round-trip light delay. It says it built a procedural Starship and Super Heavy stack with all 33 Raptor engines. Here is the movie Claude made.
For 4 billion years, these two worlds turned in silence. Strangers, separated by a void no living thing had ever crossed. Starbase, Texas, pre-dawn. A vehicle taller than the Statue of Liberty stands fully fueled with 3,400 tons of methane and oxygen. Every gram weighed against the planet.
Propellant load complete. Vehicle in startup. T-minus 60 seconds.
74 million newtons of thrust, twice the Saturn V, the single most powerful machine ever built. Built not to leave Earth, but to leave it again, and again, and again.
Ignition. Liftoff. We have liftoff of Starship, humanity's first crewed flight to Mars.
The booster comes home, because Mars is impossible if rockets are thrown away.
Hot stage nominal. Booster boost back initiated. Catch confirmed.
To reach Mars takes more fuel than one rocket can carry, so we send tankers. 8, 10, 16 flights to fill the ship in orbit. An unsexy choreography. The arithmetic of empire. Trans-Mars injection, 5 minutes of fire, 11 kilometers per second. The last burn that bound us to Earth, released. Six months, 225 million kilometers. 24 minutes for a message to reach Earth and 24 to come back. There is no calling home. And then, one morning, a different world fills the window.
Earth confirms entry corridor. Godspeed, Starship.
The atmosphere of Mars is barely there, 1% of Earth's, but it is enough to burn you alive.
Entry interface. Plasma blackout. Stand by. Flip maneuver. 3 engines lit. Throttle up. Touchdown imminent. Touchdown. Starship has landed on Mars.
Four billion years of silence. Today, a footprint.
So that was Claude's film. Next up, Codex GPT 5.5, total time 1 hour and 3 minutes. Codex claims it grounded the script in real Starship architecture by pulling from SpaceX, NASA TechPort, NASA JSC, and JPL references covering orbital propellant transfer, Mars cruise, aerobraking, and entry descent landing constraints. Here's the movie Codex made.
Before a ship touches Mars, it has already survived a chain of impossible agreements. Steel with heat, ice with vacuum, guidance with silence. And months earlier, before the red planet fills a window, the journey begins at sea level. Final poll. Booster, ship, range, ground. Guidance is go. Starship is go for launch. Starship is not sent to Mars by one launch. It is sent by cables, by a reusable booster, a ship built to be refilled, and a launch site designed to try again. Max Q. Copy. Vehicle is through maximum dynamic pressure. The booster spends itself for minutes, then turns back toward Earth. The ship keeps going. 6 engines finish the climb to
Booster
orbit. MECO. Hot stage. Tanker 3, relative rate 0.02. The mission's quietest act may be its most important. Cryogenic methane and oxygen must be stored, settled, and transferred in orbit. Not a splash of fuel. A supply chain in microgravity tanks coming up. Header tank stable. Trans-Mars injection burners go. 3 vacuum raptors are lit. Chamber pressure. There is no shortcut between worlds. The burn only opens the door. The crossing itself is measured in months. Log, day 201. Mars is no longer a coordinate, it's a disk. Every correction is smaller now, every mistake is larger. In cruise, drama becomes patience. The ship manages heat, power, orientation, propellant conditioning, and communication delay. The crew or the cargo can only trust the work already done. Entry interface, velocity 7.5 kilometers per second. Hold the car. Mars offers a brutal compromise. Its air is thick enough to burn a spacecraft, but too thin to stop one this heavy by parachute. Heating right. Starship must fly the atmosphere first, then finish the landing on engines. Landing burn start. Flip confirmed, vertical. Velocity coming down, 30 meters, 20, 10. Contact. Starship is on Mars. Not the end of the trip, the beginning of staying.
So that was Codex's film. Last up, Gemini 3.5 Flash, total time 17 minutes. Now I have to be honest with you on this one. The result was so bad that I am not going to waste your time playing the whole thing. It was mostly empty frames, a lot of dead space, and almost no audio. So this one is a fail for Gemini 3.5 Flash. Maybe when the Pro version comes out we will see a better effort, but as of right now, this one did not make it across the finish line. Drop a comment and let me know which movie hit harder. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want me to post more videos like this.